morning. Thank you for joining us today on Becca's World. I'm your host, Blind Becca. Today, I think it's the 20th episode of The Blind View we're recording today. I sure love this series. It's been a lot of fun. Today, we have a new person joining us. Abby Fleener is with us today, and then Leon Hosea, and Joetta K. Lewis is with us again today. How is everybody?
Can't complain.
Okay, so Abby, would you like to introduce yourself real quick for our viewers?
Hello, I am Abby Fleener. I live in Indiana. I have been blind since birth. I have a genetic condition called Leber's congenital amaurosis. And I also have another sibling that also has the visual disorder. I am a mother of one and a very proud grandmother of a granddaughter and a grandson. I have taken some college classes, but right now I'm looking for work with Salesforce administration. But I enjoy reading lots of books and music, of course. I love internet broadcasting. And if you want to know anything else, feel free to ask.
Abby, would you like to give an email address that our viewers could contact you at,
Sure. They can reach me at awesome, AWESOME Abby, at Comcast.net. That's the easiest one. And thank you for having me on today, Becca.
Great. Thank you for joining us, Abby. So we're going to get started today, guys. And today I wanted to talk about the impending election and the question of accessibility when it comes to us who are blind. And then also I thought we could talk about some other accessibility issues we've been running into over the last few months with all the craziness that's been going on, because I feel like as blind people, our needs have not been taken into account like everybody else's through all this quarantine and stuff. So is there anybody who would like to get started talking about accessibility?
Sure, I will.
Okay, Abby, go ahead.
I know as far as like with the election, my county does have an accessible voting machine that I can go to either at the poll, which I usually do not because it is usually more crowded. And so I will go in like a week or 2 weeks early and vote early at the clerk's office. And they're very helpful. The machine's accessible. You just plug in the headset and off you go. It sounds like the double talk voice. That's how I voted in past years. So I'm hoping that this year that will still be able to be done with, with COVID and, not so many people being allowed in public places at the same time.
Well, I know I contacted my local elections office several months ago and asked them what they thought was going to happen, and they're planning on having elections at the polls, and I really want to go because this is going to be the first year where I'm going to get to use an accessible voting booth, and I'm so excited. I'm excited to vote, and I'm excited to use an accessible voting booth for the first time, so I really am excited to go to the polls.
I like the little stickers they give you. It makes me feel I know it sounds silly, but it made me feel so important to have the little sticker that says I voted. I can't read it.
Yeah.
Abby, exercising your right to vote is very important.
Yes.
They didn't give me my sticker in the primary since they found out who I was voting for. That's okay. That's perfectly fine.
Someone found out who you were voting for, Leon? What do you mean?
Well, when in the primaries in March here in Texas, you go up there and ask them, Democrat or Republican. I said Republican. And usually, when I used to go vote up there, I used to say Democrat. They would be so nice. But now when I said Republican, they were so kind of rude to me. They didn't give me my sticker. I'm like, okay, well, I don't care, but I'm still going to vote. So, man, what you going to do? You can't win them all,
You shouldn't have to tell somebody what your party affiliation is. That's ridiculous.
You do.
Well, no, what they were doing is basically like they were talking like straight Republican or straight Democrat ticket. That's what they do here in Texas.
Right. For the primary, you have to, on a presidential election, they do that here too. You have to vote straight ticket. So you either vote Democratic or Republican in the primary.
Because it saves time. They want people in and out. They don't want you to sit there and just not for the actual election. Yeah, it's gonna. That's why I am voting, because our early election starts October 13th. So I will be doing that on the first day, hopefully. I know the first week.
I have never participated in early voting. I have to figure out how that works.
All you got to do is call the county election. Yeah, call the county election board.
Is there only one day you can go do it, or do you go any certain time during the several?
It's October 3rd. I mean, the first day of early voting up until about November the 1st, or that Friday before the election is the last day for early voting. That's the way it usually goes.
Okay, well, I'll have to
Here they usually do the 2 middle weeks in October.
Mm-hmm.
The best bet is to call your county election board.
Anybody have concerns about the validity of the counting process of our ballots?
Well, not with the electronic votes, no. But with these mail-in crap, because look what happened in L.A. the other day. They found bags and bags of undelivered mail behind a hair salon. So what does that tell you?
The ballots will be just sitting out there for anybody to grab them, probably.
No, they're discarding them on purpose.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Well, you'd think if they were going to do that, they'd shred the stuff or something so there was no evidence. But
some people just get sloppy.
I wouldn't mail in my ballot in today's world just because of all the fraud and things of that nature. I'd take it down there and drop it off or something before I'd mail it, or because there's too much.
That's a good point, Abby.
I wonder about the people overseas, that like our military.
Those are absentees. That's kind of different.
Right, but it still gets mailed.
Yeah, but you have to actually have to fill out a form to get absentee. Mail in, they just send it to you, no matter what.
Mm.
Yes, it's all crooked. I know.
I think I'd do absentee then before I did just mail it.
Mm-hmm. But it's just, I don't know. It's just too much. These people, the deep state has been exposed the last 4 years, and now we see how desperate they are. They don't want to lose power, and it's coming to an end. I hope so, but like this is their last hurrah.
Yeah, I would like to encourage every American out there to get out to the polls this year and vote. It's very important.
Yeah.
And don't think you're. Sorry, Leon. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Ann. I'm sorry. I was talking to myself. I'm multitasking. Sorry.
I was going to second what Becca said. Definitely get out there and vote, because every vote. I mean, I know they say every vote matters, but every vote helps determine how the Electoral College is going to vote.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't vote,
you better deal with the consequences.
Exactly.
Don't complain.
There's nothing. If you don't vote, I don't want to hear you bitching.
Hello.
Exactly. You're right.
That's what Grandma used to tell me. Every time. If you're going to not say nothing, don't gripe when the consequences come around and slap you upside the head.
That leads me to my next topic, if Becca would give me the floor.
Go ahead, Leon. I'm sorry.
I say this almost every video. Look what's going on in this country with the riots. It's getting worse and worse. Now Rochester, New York is burning. The whole police command resigned yesterday. The whole command is gone. They quit. They said, screw it. Since we can't, y'all are blasting us in the media, and just screw it. We just quit. That's what they did yesterday. The whole they're gone.
Oh.
Wow.
And now the Dallas police chief is leaving November 10th. So, okay.
That's tomorrow.
No, November the 10th.
Oh, November. I'm sorry.
Right after the election, because she knows what's going to happen.
Well, we're returning back to the days of the Wild Wild West, y'all.
You see what Leon is doing right now, don't you? If Brenda can see it.
I honestly think that before too long, we'll end up having another civil war.
I think it's already been started.
And
I mean, it's already going on the streets of America.
Yep.
it's so sad, though. It's
senseless.
It's stupid. The problem is you have these anarchists. They don't know what these college kids that never worked a day in their life. They've been educated through this indoctrinated system, and then you look at them. They don't know anything. They think they know something, but they don't. These spoiled little middle class rich kids, talking about burn it down. Like, dude, you're hurting the people you say that you claim that you're trying to help.
exactly.
And it's a doggone shame. Black people don't need you to speak for us. We can speak for ourselves. Just go back to your little suburban household and leave us alone. Okay? Look what happened in Pittsburgh the other day at the McDonald's. Now, these BLM idiots are antagonizing a black-owned McDonald's. So what does that tell you? Like, how stupid can you be? You're antagonizing a black-owned McDonald's.
So you know what, though, Leon? Listen, color aside, we're all Americans. So those are Americans who are out there on the streets destroying America. But Becca, the thing is, they don't claim themselves as Americans. I should have sent you the video where they're marching up and down the street saying "Death to America."
Then they better get out.
I agree with you, Abby.
They are Americans saying "Death to America."
I mean, if they're not Americans, then they need to. And if they don't want to support America, then they need to leave.
Oh yeah,
the same thing.
So years ago when I was living in Missoula, there was a demonstration on, I think it was the Higgins Street Bridge. And there were all these protesters out there chanting about France and how things were better in France. And I had one of my girlfriends drive across the bridge and I yelled out the window, I said, if you think France is better, you're free to go. That's the point of being in America. You have the freedom. They can go to France if they're happier there, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They can go to Venezuela too because they think Venezuela is a paradise. Go straight there.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
No,
well,
it's
Venezuela's
not.
got their own issues right now.
Yes, they do.
But like Bernie Sanders was saying, talking about Venezuela, he wants America to be like Venezuela. Look what they're going through. The same thing they're going through, they're trying to put America through. Mm-hmm. I'll be damned if I give them my country.
They're trying to put America into the wood chopper, guys.
I would die on this hill. Like I keep telling people, I don't care if you are blind in a wheelchair, you still have a voice and you still can fight. Okay? We didn't ask for this fight, but damn it, we're gonna finish it. Okay? If you're a patriot, come on now, stand up and do something.
You're right.
Hope these new bullets work that I got. They better work.
Leon.
Rubber?
Leon.
Heck no.
You better give him some rubber bullets in it.
No, these are. I have nothing. I have no non-lethal rounds. Everything I have will kill you.
So, Leon, you should clarify for Abby about how you're a gun enthusiast, so she realizes you're not some nut.
Oh yeah,
trust me, he's no nut. Trust.
Abby, I don't know if you've seen previous episodes of The Blind View, but Leon is just one of our proud Second Amendment supporters here on
cool.
Blind View. But on a previous episode, he showed off his entire gun collection and talked about each gun and stuff. It was really a fascinating episode.
Oh, well, then I'll go back and watch it.
Yeah.
I
it's number 13.
But I do have, I mean, I don't necessarily want a gun because but I do support those who do choose to have one and who do choose to carry.
Mm-hmm.
Amen, sister. I do it. I tell people I don't go anywhere unarmed. I don't care. Kick me out if you found it, but I would go patronize another business because, like I told Becca and Joetta before, how I got in trouble last year. at my dialysis clinic when that nurse told the manager, and she was like, basically, you know, I asked her, so what happens if we get robbed in the lobby? Went on a ride. She told me, you know, well, we hope that don't happen. Well, I hope a hurricane don't hit Houston again either, but you know what? I'll prepare for it.
That's right.
So I just found a better way to hide it, but I'll be damned if I go, because I leave my house at 4:30 in the morning to go to dialysis. Which, no, I'm not going to go anywhere, especially that time of morning unarmed. And crime is getting bad. It's getting worse and worse. Heck no.
Yeah, you're not safe. Even in the little towns, like I live in a very small town, and I mean, there's things going on even here where it's not safe anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have grandchildren, and I fear for sometimes those kids taking the bus and things by themselves, you know, when they go to school and stuff.
Used to be a blind person can go anywhere and not be worried about being attacked or whatever. Now, being a blind person, you might as well walk around with a bullseye on your back saying, come get me. Because nowadays, it's just not safe anywhere.
You see these idiots are going to people's houses, neighborhoods, and waking them and throwing rocks at their houses through the windows and with bullhorns. God, please let it happen here. I'm just begging, please let it happen here. Please just give me one so I can make an example. I just want to make an example. Please.
We do not mess inside, not out.
What'd you say, Abby?
I said he better make sure they fall inside and not outside.
Not in Texas. We are a property state. As long as they're on my property, I feel threatened.
Oh, well, there you go.
That even extends to vehicles and any business that I own. But then again, we got to stand your ground law too, so it don't really matter. Yes,
well,
but see,
got a little bit more safety protection there than other places.
But see, Abby, Austin, it's a shithole now. It's basically Portland, Oregon, and here in Texas, our state capital. They're rising up there, but they know where to do it at. They know not to go to the suburbs of Texas. They're not that dumb.
Right.
See, Austin is a liberal hellhole. And when that guy got killed about a month and a half ago, when he shot that AK-47, the guy in the car shot him. BLM literally sent busloads down to Austin. I mean, like 5 or 6 busloads, and they've been rioting ever since.
Wow.
You know, and me and Joetta, we was in school up there together a few years ago around this time. It was peaceful, but now it's almost a war zone in Austin now. They've literally defunded the police up there. I'm like, I can't go back.
It's happening everywhere.
Yep.
I called my local police department the other day and I said, I have a message for the officers. And the lady's like, oh, no. And I said, no, ma'am, I want to call you and I want to thank you for your service.
Yeah.
And she said, thank you. We really appreciate it that people are showing their support.
You know, maybe if more Americans would call their local police departments and express those feelings, it would help our officers right now.
Well, Becca, they do, because look at all the thin blue the Blue Lives Matter rallies that they're throwing all over the country, but they're getting invaded by the counter protesters of BLM and Antifa. There have been fist fights in like L.A. and Hollywood and in Portland, you know, and in New York. A lot of
things happening in Atlanta too, weren't there?
Oh, it still is.
Yeah.
You know, heck, I remember after that idiot got shot in the back by the cop because he was, drunk, drinking and driving, about half the police force called off the next few weeks. And you can literally hear those police calls on YouTube, but they're just silent. You hear the dispatcher saying, "Is anybody there?" And it's just that's scary.
Right.
Like I say, if you can protect yourself at all costs, because I say November the 4th, it's gonna be a war. Best believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, you ain't got to have a firearm, but I can know you can use just that hornet spray or wasp spray, that works just as good as mace.
Yeah, I didn't even think about wasp spray.
Yep, it works just as good as mace. Mm-hmm. Or use bear mace. That really works.
I had a friend of mine, I thought she was crazy until I seen her do it. It reminded me of a flamethrower.
Oh, with a lighter and the spray.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Except she got the cheapest can of hairspray they have. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's Aquanet. And she turned around one day and she was pissed off at somebody. I cannot remember. But out come that can of spray out of her purse. And she held up her Bic and she aimed that flame. And I went, whoa. She got him too. Right at the back of his pants. I'm like, remind me never to piss you off. And she just started laughing. She goes, I'm tired of these people messing with me. And she was partially blind in one eye. And that guy was always picking on her. And she had already warned him several times, you ain't got much longer. And she made sure he remembered her. And she called the police and told them what she did. Oh, yeah.
Does that make him Mr. Hot Pants?
Yeah, because believe me, he had them parachute pants on.
Ooh.
And you know when that nylon gets hot, it melts.
Yes, ma'am.
And sticks. And believe me, he was screaming blue bloody murder because his legs were all over with that material stuck in his skin. And she did give a fat rat's fury in China, believe that. And I'm standing there going, OMG. She goes, I'm not running. I'm standing right here. I'm tired of people picking with me. And I warned him and I warned him and I warned him and he kept messing with me. So I had enough. And so, like I said, she called the cops. They showed up. It ain't the first time because she reported him before and the cops wouldn't do anything because literally he hadn't touched her. But this time he did. And so she reacted in the only way she knew how. And they couldn't really
to defend herself.
Exactly. So she didn't own a gun. She didn't own a taser, but she did know how to do something real simple. And the cops couldn't believe that she did that. And they said, prove it. So she did it again in front of the cops. She just started spraying and threw the flame. And then when they seen how far out the flame shot, they kind of went, oh, okay.
Joanna, can you demonstrate that on a future episode of The Blind View?
I can.
Okay.
Make sure you're outside.
I have a can of hairspray.
Make sure you're outside.
You have someone that can hold your iPhone or your iPad, to get it?
I will do that.
That would be awesome.
Well,
it's freaky, let me tell you.
Just be careful.
I like stuff like that. I love blind folk that, oh yeah, I like that sound. But, people need to protect yourself at all costs. It's getting worse and worse by the day. These kids, they're gonna have to learn. See, the problem is too, they never been punished for. They have never been any consequences for their actions since they were kids or ever.
Yeah, but Leon, we talked about that. Remember?
Yeah, but eventually they're gonna have to get a butt whooping, and I hope it don't cost them their life. It's already cost a few of them their life, and now you got the federal government arresting them now, and you know how hard it is to get out of a federal government charge.
Yeah, but see, remember, we talked about that because the whole purpose of them being the way they are is when courts gave them the right to call 911 and saying my mom or my dad is abusing me. Even if all they did was got their butts whooped. And then, of course, the courts step in and say, we're snatching your kid. And the kid is just doing it to be vindictive or spiteful or whatever the case may be.
Or just a brat.
Exactly. And from that point on, the government's all up in their face. And excuse me, I'm going to be real blunt. up their ass with a microscope, okay?
I told my daughter if she wanted to call the 911 on me, that when they came and got her, they could pack her suitcase, and because if they thought they could do better, they better go right ahead.
That's what I did to my youngest daughter. I sure did. And to this day, she hasn't talked to me in 4 years, but guess who don't give a fat rat's rear end? I'm sorry. She just turned 29 and still wild in the streets, but ain't nothing I can do about it because she's well past the age of 25. So whatever, but when she was younger, she kept constantly running away from home, kept trying to steal stuff from the house, tried to come after me a couple of times. I was like, no, this is not going to fly.
Dear God. Joetta, you got my blessing, sweetie.
Well, I'm very blessed. My daughter, I mean, yeah, she did some of the regular teenage things, but as far as, taking off and this, that, and whatever, or being way totally disrespectful, I was blessed. If she watches this video, hey, I'm going to brag on her because I've seen a lot of kids who have sight and they have and they lie to their parents about, like if your mom got out some money and said, "What's this?"
Right.
And that kid would say, "Oh, it's a 10," when really it was a 20. My daughter never, thank God, she never lied to me about money or like reading things to me. Like today, she went to the post office for me because, there's so many social distancing things and whatever that I just asked her if she would take the box and mail it. And she didn't hesitate. Yeah, Mom, sure. So I'm blessed. I'm very grateful.
Well, my daughter never took money from me or anything like that. It's just that her thing with me was school. That was our biggest tug of war.
My daughter didn't want to go to school.
Well, my daughter went to a magnet school, and they wanted her there because she got good grades. That's what got me. My daughter is very, very smart, but she chose to waste it. She chose to waste her life like that, and that's what irked me. And I'm like, I'm fighting tooth and nail to keep this girl in school, trying to find alternate ways for her to take tests like oral testing, things like that. She didn't want to do that. Her biggest thing is she didn't want to do homework. And that was my biggest pet peeve. Homework counts for what, 65% of your grade?
Something like that. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, back then it did. I don't know now.
But this was back then. And I'm like, the teachers would always tell me she knew her material. She'd answer questions in class. But when it come to getting that homework done, And then she'd lie to me saying, well, I got it done, Mom. Here's my folder. You can write and sign it off.
So speaking of homework and accessibility, I remember when my kids were little, trying to help them with their homework as a blind parent was a nightmare.
Tell me about it.
Same thing?
Yes, it is.
I had lots of problems. I was very blessed to be married to somebody at the time when my daughter was like in grade school and things like that, that would help her with her reading and things because he was sighted. And so he would help her with her reading and check her homework and, to make sure that it was done. Mm-hmm. Now, middle school, that was a different story. She just fluffed it off and there you go.
Mm-hmm. Which is a pain in the butt all by itself.
Well, once they get old enough where they're able to read and do it on their own, as far as I'm concerned, they're really responsible for taking advantage of what's made available to them. But right now, with all of what's been going on since this virus hit, I can understand how it is probably harder for kids right now.
Well, the thing that I think for kids right now, I know my granddaughter has a computer from school, and my grandson has an iPad. And they have so many, I don't know how accessible these things are because my daughter doesn't let me do things on their devices. But I wonder, how accessible it would be now with everything being e-learning and everything. Like, they don't even know what a textbook is. All their books are on the computer or on their device.
Time now without it being digital.
Abby, do you use an iPad?
Yes.
Have you explained to your daughter that there's voiceover on the iPad that your granddaughter uses, so you could be able to help her with it?
I haven't worked with the kids. Because like my granddaughter uses a computer. Now my grandson, I could probably download some of the things on my iPad that he has on his.
And then kind of sit down with him and maybe interact with him a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, but I don't know that I could put the same thing on my computer that my granddaughter has on hers. I don't know if I can get what they use on there. I'd have to ask my daughter and then play with it and see if it's accessible. Or I could even maybe call the school.
Yeah, I was thinking
that sounds like the fastest avenue.
Because the teacher, having been called, I don't know what your daughter's level of education is, but the teacher definitely has been out to college, so she might be a little bit more open to the idea of a blind person, that these devices can actually be made accessible, right?
Right. Well, and it may help a future student.
Well, Abby, I'm in college right now, and I look at me, I'm still going through crap. I just got off the phone. How's it working?
How does it work for you? Do you get digital books or?
Yeah, but the thing is, like me and Joe had discussed it's this damn math. I don't see what's so hard about, the school assigning me a tutor, because the tutoring department in my school, they do stupid crap. They can only work with you for 30 minutes and they won't help you with your homework, but they'll help you with a similar problem. Well, hell, I'm blind. I need somebody to help me sit there with me and help me do everything. And that's the problem. That's why the state, my state counselor and my ADA counselor at school, we've been trying to, throwing stuff against the wall, see what's going to stick. A little bit of it does stick, but then again, here comes my school. Well, we can't do this, we can't do that. Well, heck, we even put out, the state will pay you.
Right.
The state will pay somebody. We really put it out there. We will pay you $20 an hour or more, if need be.
Right.
And the thing about it, what the only problem is, everybody wants to do it virtually. No, I need person-to-person tutoring. That because again, Jaws is not that good with math stuff.
Oh no, you have to have a Braille writer. The best way to do math is a Braille writer, Braille paper, and a Braille book.
Yeah,
that way you can see it.
Yeah,
or feel it.
But those people, they still don't want to do it person-to-person because I need the tutoring and everything. It's not like I can't learn. I even went out and bought stenciled letters and numbers. Come on, I'm ready to go right now. Right. But the thing is just I'm doing all the work here, trying to find people or find an accessible way to do stuff. All I need somebody to do is to come in and get paid and tell me what I'm doing wrong with the math. They will pay $20 an hour or more. And the other problem is you got these tutoring agencies that are greedy. They want $65 an hour or more. I'm like, good God, man. I'm like, boy, I just want to be, but that's the way
Where are people who just want to help somebody get, a future? People just don't, most people nowadays, Becky, that's my question. Where are the people that just want to do some good? Like you, you've done a lot of good that I know of. And where are people like that?
They get shunned out. They get silent.
Abby, I believe there's plenty of good people in this world. The problem is they've been kicked in the teeth a lot, and they're wondering if it's really worth being good and nice anymore,
Right. Well, I'm grateful.
I try to be good to everybody, so.
Well, the thing about that, Abby, too, again, like my counselor at school, she's great. She's fought tooth and nail for me about this stuff with the tutor and stuff. She's even went out her way and got volunteers from the Honor Society to come help me, you know, and made them sign contracts to help me so they can get their volunteer hours still, you know. And my school they look down upon that. I'm like, why? She didn't have to do that.
Hey, Leon, do you use Bookshare at all for your books?
Oh yeah, I just renewed my subscription the other day.
Do you find that a lot of the books you need are available on there?
Yes and no, because you know how these schools do. Well, Bookshare might have the 5th edition. The school might want the 8th edition. And like I found out, nothing's really changed. All they did was change the chapters around.
Oh.
That's basically what they do. They just change the chapters around, or they might add a chapter. That's the only difference. You know, I just found out my teacher's syllabus. You know, then I go get the book, and then me and my technology person at the school, we just copy and paste onto my flash drive.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, you got blind folk that are willing to learn and do all the work to help themselves learn. It's just decided people they just don't care. You know, like my math department, I was lied to in front of the chancellor last year when we had that big old conference meeting. You know, lied to, and then you try to call the math department, they're not there. I'm like, so why are you even getting paid? Mm-hmm. You know, to the point I'm about to get a lawyer and file a big lawsuit. I'm literally close to doing it. I bet you that move in.
You know, Leon, I know what you're going through. I've been there. I've tried college beyond high school a couple of times, and it is very frustrating. I know what you're going through, my friend. Go ahead and vent. I just wish I had some sage advice to offer you. It's a very frustrating situation.
I mean, you know, when there's a window, if somebody closes the door, a window opens up somewhere else, you know, to the point I might have to transfer, you know, and show them like, hey, y'all have lost all this money because of your stupidity. You know, then they want to go back to the drawing board and start everything over. What did we mess up at? Well, you messed up by not communicating. That's for starters. You know, but again, I'm literally to the point. I'm about to again call up a lawyer or call the local my news affiliate here and have what they call that undercover thing. You're about to get that. You know. But you know, I've been fighting this for over a year now with this tutoring thing for math.
Are they treating all their disabled students this way?
No, I think it's just the visually impaired. But because you have students that are in wheelchairs and students that have other disabilities, and they accommodate them. But mostly, it's the teacher that does the accommodating. It's not the department chairs. It's the teachers that do it. You know, my whole time in school, I won't have one bad teacher that didn't want to comply. And that was in chemistry. He just didn't want to comply. You know, I dropped out and I complained about it. Now he's gone.
Hey, Leon, excuse me for a moment, my friend. Someone sounds like they're in distress. Joetta, are you okay?
Yeah, just.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
You sure? You know me?
I've just been coughing like I normally do.
Okay.
I'm all right.
But you know,
Don't worry, I'm okay.
I just want to make sure Abby's okay. I thought it was Joetta that I heard, but I just want to make sure Abby's okay as well.
I'm good too. I'm good. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead, Leon. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
Well, you know, it's sad, you know, but only reason I've been getting through because I have other people that I know at the school, especially my work supervisor. You know, she's been there for a long time. She's been giving me, you know, tips on what to do. And then again, I got, you know, she hooked me to people that can get stuff done for me. And I'm blessed because I have her like that, you know? I thank God that I got that. God put her in my life because of that. And now I've been getting a lot of help because of her. But but still, it's an uphill battle. But I'm not just doing it for myself. I'm doing it for other visually impaired students too. I just wish other blind students would get on board with it. I can't fight this fight alone.
Leon, you're absolutely right. That's something I know as a member of the National Federation of the Blind. Every single day when we go out and do things as blind people, we are making the way better for other blind people and other disabled people. So I'm proud of you, Leon, for pushing ahead even through all the adversity you're dealing with.
And your conventions this week.
What'd you say, Abby?
The NFB of Arizona convention.
Is that this week?
I believe so. They had the rookie up last night.
The Arizona? Oh, yeah, I think they're doing it virtually.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you
a lot
be,
of NFB conventions are doing them virtually this year.
Abby, are you going to be at the AZ virtual convention?
No, I'm not going to be at I won't. A friend of mine goes to a lot of them to see how he's very tech savvy and runs a lot of Zoom sessions, and he's running with conferences like the NFB of Indiana and NFB of Alaska and Ohio, and he helps with a lot of the different conventions.
Oh, that's cool.
So he was there last night.
We could do it more as blind folks is network with one another. We have that. I hate to say it, we have a lot of that cliquish mentality. I can't stand that. We're all in the same boat together.
Well, to me, I am cliquish. As long as you're blind, dude, I'll hang out with you.
But I'm saying I've seen me and Joette have witnesses. I'm not going to say where. Heck, I see it even in my hometown right here. I cannot stand that. It's hard because you have to, like you told me, Beth, when I first started talking, we first started doing the View about how blind people just make excuses for themselves. No. Don't do that. And you have that, and that kind of mentality is spreads to other blind folk. That crab in the barrel mentality. No, we're in this together. But they don't want it. I can't stand it. That's all I got to say about that.
That victim mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you are right. The thing that gets me about a lot of people is if you're blind in your community, they automatically think that you know every blind person in your community. Half the time, I don't know.
Yes, been there.
I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know that person. Well, they're blind. Didn't you go to school with them or don't you hang out?
OMG, are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Like I tell them, you know how big Houston is?
Now, in Montana, where I'm from, that's usually true because the blind community in Montana is so small, we have to stay closely connected to, keep tabs on each other. So in Montana, most blind people do have at least heard of other blind people in Montana.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I tell them, look how big Houston is, or look how big the state of Texas is. I mean, how am I supposed to meet every blind person unless I hang out with them? I went to at my school. I've literally sat next to a blind person. They know that they were going to school there. I'm like, I'll be damned. It's a small world.
I love the blind community, you guys. Every time, when I was with my husband, I was really stir crazy and feeling tied down. And so for a while, before I left him, I was literally flying to states I'd never been to before to NFB conventions just to meet other blind people and to have really cool experiences, right? And I have to tell you guys, blind people rock, dude.
Yes.
Blind, like I tell people, blindness is just a characteristic of that doesn't define who I am. That's just a characteristic that I have.
Right.
Blind people are adventurous. We are creative. We're problem solvers, guys.
I mean, that's like when we, people say, we're visually impaired. And I say, I'm sorry, I'm not impaired. I'm inconvenienced.
Hello.
Hey, Joetta.
I'll go one step worse. this one lady come up to me and goes, "Oh, baby, I'm so sorry for you." And I looked at her real funny. I said, "Why are you feeling sorry for me? I didn't die. My life didn't stop. The world still moves, and so do I. I still do what I do. I still live the way I live. The only difference is I can't see everything that I used to see. I'm not sorry. I'm still alive, so I thank God every day for what I got." And then I walked away. Her mouth dropped.
Yeah, speaking of that, again, when I was at my job last year, one of the other ladies that worked there, she was surprised at what I do, my hobbies, and I know she looked at me funny because I told my work supervisor, like, "Hey, when I leave, I got to go to the gun range, to the gun store to get some ammo," and she's like, "How are you going to do that?" The way I've been doing it for the last several months. Go there and pay for the ammo and leave. Duh. Like, I get that look all the time. Like, "You shoot guns?" "Yeah, I can fish too and hunt just like anybody else."
Do you have some vision?
Nope.
You're a total, and you go out here and go hunt and shoot guns.
Yep.
Abby, I used to hunt with
what
my
can be
husband.
done. You'd be surprised at what can be done. Trust me.
Oh, I mean, I'm not doubting it. But I'm in awe. I'm like, oh yeah, can I learn?
Yep, I got my license to carry too.
You have your what?
My license to carry.
Oh, nice.
I think somebody should do a gun safety course for blind people, because a lot of blind people are just scared to touch
I've been thinking of that because I was gonna do before Corona thing, screw it. I'm gonna call it what the sweet and sour flu. That's what it's called.
I've heard it all now.
Taking no money.
The thing was, at my school, my school has over 33 different locations, and so the thing was, where I was at, a lot of young women have been getting robbed. It's very dangerous there, and I'm thinking about doing a self-defense thing before everything went south. And I'm still thinking about doing it because it's still, when everything goes back up, it's still going to be dangerous. Heck, it's still dangerous now. It's just the school is just closed. Because right across the street is a busy Walmart, and I'm a girl that I worked with, she got robbed at that Walmart. So I really still think about doing that. But you gave me an idea back about doing it for blind, a self-defense thing for blind individuals. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, will they come and do it? Because I got a lot of people that tell me they want to do something, and then they don't want to do it.
Leon, just find the proper authorities to talk to about getting started on it. And I would say go for it. Just advertise, see how many people want to participate and stuff. It never hurts to try, and it definitely sounds like something that needs to be done. Yeah,
because I got a lot. No offense, Abby, but you're not the only one, about that, vision impact, blind folk that are scared to, about guns. It's something to be afraid of. Just got to respect them. That's all.
I mean, I've shot a gun before.
Mm-hmm.
I've shot a gun. My ex-husband taught me how to load, taught me how to, I didn't learn how to break it down and all that kind of thing and clean it. But I did learn how to load. I did know to unload it. And, you keep your bullets separate than your gun and all this kind of thing and blah, blah, blah. But I would like to be one of those people who could say I'm a blind carrier. I would, because.
Well, there's a guy on YouTube that I saw. Well, he was on CNN, that Communist News Network. It pissed me off because you had people in the comment section making fun of him. He was learning how to shoot. Talking about, why not make him a police officer? Trying to be funny, you little asshole. But that's okay. You'll learn, you little piece of shit. But that's the way a lot of sighted people see us. We can't do anything. Only thing I can't do is drive a car yet. That's the only thing I can't do.
You know what, Leon? We're right on the verge of being able to drive cars. So really, the only thing I think we can do is perform brain surgery at this point.
Yes, you can. With them glasses, you can. I'm just waiting for them to come out with a bionic eye. I'm just waiting.
Right, so before long, you know what, maybe it's time for us to start planning on the first blind president of the United States of America.
No, not that yet.
That would be you, Becca.
We would have had our first blind governor of New York a few years ago.
Oh, really? Who was that?
I think his name was Pataki.
Pataki?
Yeah, he was legally blind.
That's cool.
See, what made me mad when I was sighted,
right?
huh?
Was he a high partial?
Say what now?
Was he a high partial?
What does that mean?
She's asking, was he totally blind or was he like partially sighted?
I think he was partially sighted.
Yeah.
But they were making fun of him.
There's absolutely no reason why a totally blind person could not be a governor of a state, though, Abby. FYI.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say they couldn't. It's just you have to depend on what state you're in and how the politics work there, you know. But it made me mad when I was sighted and I seen Saturday Night Live making fun of him. I'm like, that's not cool, man. You know, but it's okay. Hey, now look at New York. It's a goddamn war zone. I wouldn't even, hell no. I wouldn't even send my worst enemy there.
Well, with them letting all those prisoners back out, I thought that was pretty damn stupid in his part in the first place.
Well,
why let them back out on the street?
Not only that, they have no bail in New York City.
I know.
They literally are committing crazy crimes and literally been put out within a few hours because that idiotic mayor did that no bail reform. Talking about because people of color, they can't afford bail. Well, hell, don't commit the crime. Duh.
As simple as that.
But why you think New York has a 258% crime increase around the same time last year? Literally, women, no offense, but literally women are getting raped in broad daylight now. Damn shame, man. If you can, get the hell out. Well, not us, but
my music man, his boy is in New York, and I'm really worried about him.
What part? New York City or just?
I think it's New York City.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Leon, did you watch any of the videos with Norm in them? Like he did his VIP, and I think he was on a Blind View episode before you ever came on. Norm lives here in Phoenix, and his son is in New York City. And I know I'm really concerned about Luther. My boyfriend and my sister and I think the world of Luther, and we have an extra room here in the house, and we actually extended the invitation that Luther has a place to stay if he wants to come back and see his dad, right? So we're just waiting to hear. But like, because of what's going on in New York right now, it's hard to get hold of.
Well, you remember last week when Tim was on, when he said, he was walking his dog in Atlanta, those two black idiots walked up to him and said, that's a symbol of slavery because he had a black guide dog. I'm like, that guy, ooh. If I was there, man, I would. Good thing I wasn't there, man, because that really pissed me off when he told me that. Good God, man, it's a guide dog.
And they're taking things way too far.
It's not like you can pick the color of your guide dog.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I could imagine if I was running down the street with a blonde dog, what am I doing?
No, Joanna, you would have been okay. You would have been okay, but the thing, because of what Tim's race, ethnicity is.
I know.
That's the problem.
I have to disagree with you guys about picking how you can't pick the color of your guide dog. I've actually had people tell me about blind people who have dyed the hair of their guide dogs.
That's dangerous, though. That's dangerous.
And it looks horrific from what I hear. Yeah, they do the most ridiculous things.
Yeah, but that's dangerous for the dog.
I agree.
And that's stupid. That's vanity. That's what that is. Plain and simple. That is vanity.
I say God makes our animals and makes people, and, we are what he makes us.
That's it.
Oh, yeah. I know what you want to talk about next, Becca.
What's that?
I know exactly what you want to talk about.
What?
Trump getting nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about that. So I heard it on the news. I think it was a guy in Switzerland nominated President Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize.
Well, that's what they give it at, Switzerland. That's where it's
Is that where it's
what
always
award ceremony is at?
Nobel Peace Prize. But, yeah, so President Trump has been nominated. I think it's great.
Well, look what he's done. You know, again, remember last time I said, you know, he did a peace treaty, a peace deal between Israel and United Arab Emirates. Mm-hmm. And now he did, I think the other day, he did a peace deal between Bosnia and Kosovo. They've been fighting for decades. Uh-huh. You know, and now he did a peace treaty between them, you know, and they still don't like it. You know, hell, Obama got a Nobel Prize before he was even president. All he did was get elected, and he got a Nobel Peace Prize for not doing anything but being the first black president. That's all he did, and got a Nobel Peace Prize.
That kind of backwards thinking reminds me of some of the stuff I experienced early on in my blindness, where people treated me a certain way because I was blind, right? You know what I'm getting at? And it really takes away from the authenticity of the person if you focus on something that's irrelevant. You know what I mean? Like their skin color or like their disability or something like that. You know what I mean?
Well, Beth, that's what the left wants to do. That's why they got Kamala Harris up there, because I know it's a slim chance that they'll get elected, but we still got to go out and vote, just to remind everybody out there. But as they say that Biden gets elected, they're going to push him out for Kamala Harris, so she could be the first supposedly woman of color and the first woman president. You know, they all trying to be the first, and the next thing you know, it's going to be the first, you know, the first Hispanic president. They're going to get praised for that. The first LGBTQ president. Who cares? I don't care. Can you do your job? That's all I care about. I don't care what skin color you are or your sexual orientation. What can you do? I could care less, you know, how you were born. I don't care. You know, are your policies going to help me and help out this country? But as we can see, those Democratic policies do not help anybody out. Just saying. Just saying.
Well, I think the president has done good things, and I support him because he is our president. But I also think that he has made a few decisions that, you know, are questionable. But I think that's the case with all of our presidents. And
exactly my point.
And they're the ones sitting in that chair. We're not.
Abby, would you like to bring up a questionable decision that he's made to discuss with the panel, or do you want to just leave it at that?
No, I'll just leave it.
Okay, I just wanted to invite more conversation.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I mean, not right off the top of my head. I can't, you know, but okay, well, like when he took, and I understand he has his hotel or his, you know, his Florida home. But when he had, you know, was moving back and forth from the White House to Florida, and he had to have protection at the White House, he had to have protection in Florida, you know, keep yourself in the White House. You know, you don't have to have multiples. You know, stay in your house.
Abby?
Yes.
Every president has owned a house somewhere else other than just the White House. You really can't fault him for owning a house in Florida. He had somewhere before he became president.
No, I don't fault him for having the home. I mean, he also had a home in New York, you know, which I don't fault him for having. He doesn't have it
anymore.
I think the thing I faulted was that every time you turn around, he was using, you know.
Oh, Mar-a-Lago. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Instead of
security?
Pardon?
Or are you concerned because he was using security, or was he using like?
Well, he's using your tax dollars to get back and forth, and has to pay all these security.
Okay, so honestly, I don't know how much back and forth President Trump did between the White House and any residence of his anywhere, but I did want to point out that all of our presidents, like I remember GW had a house. Where's his house at? Like somewhere
Texas.
down south. Yeah, and so GW would go to his house. I think President Obama had a house in Chicago, so him and his family went back to see it. You know, it just makes sense.
I guess maybe they make
and because they're the president, they need to be protected no matter where they're going. You know,
right? I get that, but to me, I guess they maybe make a bigger deal of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is Trump. That's the problem.
Because he's successful and he has homes out there.
Well, and that might be why. I mean, so thank you for bringing that to my attention.
And I see what you're saying, Abby, because on the surface it does look that way, but I just wanted to share with you a different perspective on it of what probably is actually going on. Because I remember feeling the same way with other presidents when I would watch the news and they were doing all this stuff, going to all these other properties they had. And I used to think, what is that all about? But then I thought about it and I realized, they haven't been the president their whole life. They had a home somewhere before they became president, and it will be their home again when they're done being president. So it's still their home, and they still have to go visit it.
Well, what makes me mad, I didn't mean to cut you off, Abby, but look at Michelle Obama. When she was at the DNC talking about oppression, I'm like, lady, you're in your basement of your $20 million estate at Martha's Vineyard. Don't tell me about oppression. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that about oppression. Heck, I couldn't afford to cut your yard. Okay? It's talking about what oppression. Again, I want to see what laws on the books that says a black person can do it, or a person of color can do anything in this country. I want to see the law. And you know what? No one can point it out. What law? In this country, you can do, even a blind person, again, could become an engineer, or whatever. But they don't see that, though. Because that's all the left says is race, 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 race. At that stupid Democratic convention, that's all you heard. You're oppressed. Racism. I'm like,
they want everybody. The left wants everybody to feel like they're a victim of somebody else's oppression, and that the left can make it right for them. And I got tired of being told I was a victim. I realize I'm not a victim. I'm a conqueror and a survivor.
Yes, ma'am.
But that's the problem. You can't. That's why I think a lot of those kids are rioting now. That's part of that. They tell me they want to be like the champions of black people. No, get out my way. Leave me alone. And so I can do what I want to do. So why are you? So you're a champion for black people. So why are you tearing down black people's business? Mm-hmm. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, there's like I've been saying, that there's always been a big agenda with that. But it's crazy out there. They're trying to overthrow this government. They're trying to tear down America from. They just want to get rid of America. Again, like you said, Abby, if you don't like it, leave.
That's the best you
give up your citizenship and go to whatever country you think is better. But what the funny thing about it? They can't tell you what country is better. They can't tell you. Like you go ask one, so what country is better than America? Well, no. Come on, you should already know it. If you think that's a better country, point it out. And I will personally send you there with my own money and tell me how you like it. And stay there for 3 years and tell me how you like it. Because if you don't like it, then you can't. I'm sorry, you can't come back. Sorry for you. But like I said, we have to fight for our country, because if this country ever becomes socialist, the disabled are the first to go.
Yeah.
We all will be one of the first to go.
The elderly.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's why I say, please fight. But you got a lot of blind folk that just don't like politics. I don't know why. I mean, you get affected more than anybody, but the thing about it too, a lot of blind folk, they vote left. They really do. Mm-hmm. It's sad.
I think it depends on the person. I mean, because I myself, there are times, you know, when I'll vote Republican, and then there are times I will vote Democrat. So I tell them, I said, I guess I'm probably an independent because.
Abby, can you tell me what issues are important to you that you look for them when you're choosing your candidate?
I mean, I'll admit there was a time when I would watch and, you know, when they say, oh, I'll do this for you, I'll do that for you. I think I try to go back and do the research and see what they've done.
Thank you.
And depending on if I believe in what they've done, like, for example, Senator Lugar from Indiana, God rest his soul. You know, he did a lot in public housing, you know, with getting Section 8 or, you know, what's that called? Housing Urban Development, you know, the HUD system. Mm-hmm. And that was back, you know, in the 80s. And I was young and, you know, he was a senator he became one of our state senators and he was a senator forever. And I mean, and Ronald Reagan, you know, it's standing up for what you believe. And I mean, I can't really say one issue because, you know, yes, I want health care. You know, thank God I have health care, you know, and that's an important thing to me due to I have pre-existing conditions. I want to make sure we are able to have a home, you know, people are able to afford their homes and, you know, so it's a matter of, you know, doing your research.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, on that, Abby, look at Biden. He's been in office, you know, he's been a politician for 47 years and he's done nothing. Only thing he's done was the 94 crime bill, which got a lot of black men locked up. Okay, on simple crap, you know. And I can show you the video of what he said. He said no I had just no N words for I gotta show you the video of what he said. This is clearly Biden that said it. No N words and no N words in our schools, no N words anywhere. He literally said that. You know, and my God, and you people, huh?
That's straight up disrespectful.
Yes,
I mean, that's straight up
he literally
rude.
said that, I think in the 70s or 80s. No, it was the 70s, I'm sorry, the 70s. He literally said
if people in sports can get kicked out of the sport or out of broadcasting sports for using the N-word or repeating that somebody used the N-word, I think that should go, and that should be an example.
But Abby, that's the thing. Look who he's Biden's not moderate. He's totally left now. They don't care now. You know what they say: rules for thee, but not for me.
If he, I mean, and I'm using this as a quote, not as my personal view. Mm-hmm. But if he doesn't support N-words, then why does he have Kamala Harris as his vice, running as his vice?
Because it's pandering. It's all it is pandering. You know, every 4 years you see the left just pander to black people like it ain't nothing. You know, Hillary back in 2016 when she said she carries hot sauce in her purse. You know, come on, man. Or, you know, during the debates last year when wasn't the mayor of South Bend, Indiana, Pete Buttigieg, or I forgot, I never say his last name right. Yes, he literally went to the projects in New York City and sipped a 40 ounce out of a bag. Like he really does that.
Wow.
You know, come on, I'm tired of the pan. And the other guy that was the former governor or something, he was running for governor or something, but he was running for president last year. He had Juvenile, you know, the rapper from New Orleans, singing back that thing up on stage, doing it like you would listen to rap music.
Right.
You know, or like Joe Biden did a couple of weeks ago with Cardi B. You know, that idiot, she can't even spell, she can't even say politics right. She calls it politics.
Politics.
Politics. Yeah, I'm like, you can't even say politics right. But you want to tell me about free education. Like, you moron. Why were you saying free education when Obama was in office? You didn't care. Only when Trump is doing it. You know, dear God, man.
I think every president has their positives and every president has their negatives. And either way we go, I think that they, because when President Trump was elected, everybody's like, oh, no. He's Trump, whatever, No, you cannot just call him Trump because he is President Trump.
Well, that's the problem, people.
And he deserves that respect, whether you like him or not.
But Abby, did you ever watch those YouTube videos of people that when they announced that President Trump had won the election, how they were going crazy? They were literally screaming, talking about, you better fix this shit right now, or I'm gonna do something. Literally, people were saying that. I kid you not, there was video after video on that on YouTube. And what's that lady on The View? What's her name? Joy Behar. She literally had a panic attack when she found out that President Trump had won Florida. She was having a meltdown.
Oh wow!
And you still got newscast after newscaster up there doing the same thing. So I can't believe this.
Well, the elections are what they are, and once it's kind of like once the electoral college puts in their votes, and it's done.
But the thing about it too, you have a lot of delegates that don't even, over 1,000 said they're not voting for Biden. These are delegates.
Well, here's the thing. The delegates shouldn't be saying things like, I'm not voting for anybody at this point, because my understanding is they're supposed to vote based on how the electorate comes out, right?
They're supposed to, but they still hold the power too to relinquish those electoral votes to you too.
Yes, ma'am. They do have that. They are supposed to vote the way their state votes.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they always do.
No, because they do not. The problem is Biden has gone so left now. He's just not come out against the riots. Only reason why, because again, I don't trust the poll. I never do trust the poll numbers. Now that they found that he's losing, heck, he's always been losing, but he didn't know that. But now he's, riots are bad. Riots are bad. It's too late now. You created this monster. Now you can't even destroy it now. We have to destroy it now. Mm-hmm. You should have nipped it in the bud back in May. Mm-hmm. But it's too late now. And Kamala Harris, look at her record. She was a horrible prosecutor in California. Horrible. Mm-hmm. How dare you talk about you should smoke weed back in the day in college, which was a lie. But you become a prosecutor and you locked up so many men behind that. What a total hypocrite. But then again, you didn't do it though. So, again, I can't trust anything that comes out of California. I'm sorry, I can't do it.
I can't wait till after the election, because I'm so pissed off at the communists who are trying to take over.
But Becca, that's the thing. It ain't gonna be over. You heard what Biden said. If you don't elect me, riots are still gonna go on. That's a threat.
Yeah, but listen, after the election, I think these Democratic governors who have been refusing to let Trump bring in the military to stop the rioting and stuff, I think they'll be forced to let President Trump come, bring the military in at that point.
Well, right
now they're playing politics, but they won't be able to do that anymore after the election.
Someone's going to have to stop it and take control.
Well,
you can't come in here because you're violating or whatever. But President Trump has the right to protect the American people. Would you say?
The governor of Wisconsin had no choice but to let Trump send in the troops, the military in. And as soon as he did it, the riots stopped. As soon as he brought him in, the riots just magically stopped. But you have other look at the governor of Oregon. Over 100 nights of riots, and it's still going. 100 nights since the end of May.
But see, after the election, after Trump has won again, and these Democratic governors realize that there's no point in doing this, to try to persuade the electorate, don't you think then they'll have to let the army in to cut?
That's why I said November 4th is going to be they're going to Becca. Our last election, after Trump was announced that he won, they literally rioted. The news just didn't cover. They rioted. Up even here in Houston, they did it a little bit, but in LA and DC, they were rioting up and down the street, tearing up stuff and setting stuff on fire because Trump got elected. They said it's going to be a lot worse. You know, I'm just saying, please be. I tell people, man, please be on the lookout. If anything looks suspicious, say something or do something, or dear God, because I know once they announce who won the election, I will literally be sitting in the living room on my phone with my precious babies ready to go.
I'm ashamed to admit to you guys that the other day I asked my cameraman to remove my Trump Pence sign from my yard so that my family and I would not be targeted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that really bothered me that I felt like I had to do that.
Well, that again, that's what comes from the leftists. They can't sit down and have a decent conversation with people. That's the problem. Because look at these college campuses. Any conservative, they beat them up or they shut them down. You know, that's not fair. You know, but the colleges let them do it. That's why I said I'm really debating about going to university now, because I will probably be in prison right now, because I'll probably have to put a whooping on one of them little snot-nosed kids for telling me I can't do what I want to do. Who are you to tell me what I can't do? Heck, I pay taxes, you little punk. Mm-hmm. You know, but that comes, like you said, Joetta, now getting that behind the whoop when they were younger, no consequences. But it's kind of funny. Life will put a whooping on you, whether you want one or not.
That ain't no lie. That ain't no lie.
Okay, because these kids think, you know, I got this gender studies degree in underwater basket weaving. That is a degree. Go look it up. And Rutgers University, underwater basket. That's stupid, but they got that degree.
Was it a class you were going to take?
Hell no.
I wouldn't be sitting underwater trying to weave no basket. What do I look like? Some doggone snail? Please.
But hell, that's just people that's just, you know, schools lying to these kids. Oh, just get a degree and you're going to become, no, bull's crap. Okay? And that's why you got a lot of these kids talking about it's not fair out there. But look what degree you got. Now you're over $100,000 in debt and stupid crap.
Well, you know what? I remember growing up in the 80s and hearing you're going to have to go to college and get a degree in order to do anything worthwhile in life. So maybe they just got part of the message and not the whole thing.
Well, you're all right about that, Becca. But see, that's like we discussed before on another view about these vocational programs in school that they've taken them out to urban schools, but the suburban schools still have them. But like with my school, they were literally taking us out of automotive and stuff for college prep classes. I'm like, man, everybody's not ready to go. They're not built to go to college.
Right.
But then again, that comes from the school. For every kid that they send to college, they get money for that. You know, that's not fair. You know, sorry, doggone phone fell. You know,
he got so excited he moved the phone.
Okay, so we're gonna have to give him a moment to get back in frame.
I'm back in.
So Leon, did you want to continue?
Yes. You know, but then, you know, back in my dad's heyday, you know, cosmetology was still prevalent. I mean, we have cosmetology in my high school too. You know, those girls could go to college if they wanted to, but you know, to fall back and make extra money, they became state certified beauticians. You know, and again, I'm not saying don't go to college. I'm not saying that, but don't go to school for something dumb. You know, why would you go to school for go to college and be $100,000 in debt to be a puppet master? Come on, man, like really? And now these kids, they get into the real world. Basically, that degree is worthless. Well, the school played you, but you should have thought of that. You know, your parents should have stepped in and said, no. This, if you're going to go to school for this, and this, or go to a trade school, because we always need tradesmen out there. We will always need that.
It seems like there's school counselors in the high schools that could be giving these kids who are about to graduate better direction on the choices they make for their college.
I agree.
Well, Well, that's true too, but you know what that comes from too? They were in the same boat those kids were in now, you know, when they were in high school.
Mm-hmm.
They looked at and got a school gig, you know, well, I got a job doing this. You can too, but it's only so many schools out there though. You know, and
Well, that's like they always tell blind people, oh, well, go in social work, go in social work. You can talk to people, you can listen and blah, 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 blah. Well, once you go in, you know, I've seen a lot of people, once they've gone into social work and this, that, and whatever, and have their degree, there's nothing available because the jobs are already filled.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm going to school for. What I go to school for. You know, I've thought about, you know, I literally sit back and thought about what I want to go to school for. I'm like, well, hell, I used to be a mechanic. Let me just go back for, you know, go to school for engineering. You know, that you're always going to need an engineer in this world.
Yeah.
But the thing is just a lot of these people need to sit down and talk to their kids. A lot of these people need to sit down and say, hey, if you're going to go to school, okay, what are you going to go to school for? Okay, don't just think you're going to go to school and get this degree, and once you get out, once you graduate, it's supposed to be all these jobs lined up. No, it doesn't work like that unless you're in a certain field. Okay, if you're a medical doctor, hell, the sky's the limit, you know? But you're going to school for gender studies degrees. What can you really do with that? That's no offense. I don't want to disrespect any ladies on there, but come on now. A lot of those women with Antifa, they are upset about that. That's why they keep saying the gender pay gap. It's because of that crap.
Well, hey guys, I got a quick minute. I wanted to share with you the great news that you can now get my first book, Because You're Blind, in hardcover, paperback, and on Audible. See the links below. This is the story of what it was like waking up blind at the age of 12, and then several years later being stripped of my constitutional rights by my parents. And it's the story of how I had to fight to get my constitutional rights back. It's a very powerful story, and I encourage you to listen to it. And the first 50 people who email me will get a free download of the Audible version. And all you have to do is go on and write a review on Amazon for me. Thank you very much. And now back to the blind view.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's sad out there, you know, because every job I've had, if I work with a lady, she had the same amount of pay as me.
Well, I think she should.
Mm-hmm. And I totally agree. But, you know, I no joke, I've worked like that. I worked with a lady like that when I first got on at the airport at Continental. She was upset because her check wasn't as much money, but I'm like, okay, are you working any overtime? No. Okay. And how much? And you're always leaving work early. You know, I understand you got to take care of your child. You got to pick them up. And I've told, hey, I'm with that. I'm not against that, but to the point you have to look at the other, the variables too. This guy works at least 2 or 3 hours of overtime, 5 days a week. He even comes in on his day off. Okay. So, hey, what you want to do? And she finally agreed.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was just going to say you're not going to get paid the same unless you aren't putting in the same amount of time. If you put in the same amount of time, then you should make the same pay. But if you're cutting corners and coming in late and leaving early and taking days off, you're not going to get the same pay.
And that's why they talking about the gender pay. There's no gender pay gap. And you have to look at, too, a lot of men, they take more dangerous jobs. It's not saying that women can't do it, but come on now, how many women are out there digging pipeline? Come on now.
Now, okay, so I see your point with that, Leon, but if there are women who are digging pipeline, they should make the same dollar.
They are, which they are. They will. Pipeline. They will be making the same amount of money. They will do it. They will do it. If they're working for the same company, they will make the same amount of pay. They will do that because it's been a federal law to pay one gender one thing and another gender another thing. Okay, if that was the case, then that's the case. A lot of companies will have more women, wouldn't it? It'd be none but women working, wouldn't it? So they could save on the dollar if that was the case.
And I honestly don't know because I haven't been all over the country and applied for jobs everywhere as a woman, and I really don't feel qualified to make a judgment call on this one way or the other, you know, but I'm just pointing that out. That there's probably a lot of variables.
But it's a federal law. They cannot pay one gender one thing and another gender. They cannot do that. They will get in trouble. That is a federal law. But a lot of these people don't see that though. I'm like, do you not know we have work laws in this country? Hell, why do you think children can't work under the age of 15 without a parent's consent or their consent? You know, come on now. There are child labor laws. That's why we don't have, this isn't China. You know, like we've been saying, this is the best country to me in the world. Why do you think everybody's trying to come here? But I'm sorry, but you know, again, every job I've had, women have gotten the same pay as the men. Hell, in some cases they got even more money because they were getting a lot of dudes were covering for them. I'm not gonna say who would win because I don't want to get them in trouble, but you know they were telling the dudes to sign out for them. You know, they would get 2 or 3 hours overtime every day without even being there.
Now that's not right.
I know, but it does happen.
As I said, if you're not gonna put in the time, you shouldn't get the pay.
Mm-hmm. You know, like my dad said, he said, son, because my dad used to work for the city bus line here as a mechanic. He said, son, I didn't see it with women. They become supervisors. They wouldn't even qualify for the job. Okay? They wouldn't even qualify for the job, and they got the job.
I love you, babe.
Love you too, babe. I'll be back. You know, it's not fair. It's not fair when you got, I don't want to sound like a misogynist, but there were, like my dad's, there were men that were way more qualified for their job, and she had just gotten there. You know, she had only been there a few months, and she got promoted over the other guys.
Mm.
Couldn't even tell you a difference in a screwdriver and a wrench, but she got a promotion as a mechanic at that. This is one thing about blindness I cannot stand: misplacing crap.
That can be very annoying all by itself.
You know, I think they should make a device for our canes that we can put on our canes, and then
they got that now.
Our hands, it'll beep so we can find our canes easier.
They have that now. They have
Couldn't you
smart
use
canes
one of
out
those
there.
tiles?
They have
What?
smart canes.
You know, Abby, I have one of those tiles, but I haven't even tried. I mean, I got it a few years ago. I don't even know how to use it. Would I have to attach the file to my cane? Because would it prevent me from being able to use my cane? You know, I don't know how those work.
It depends on where you put it. Probably, like, is there a way to attach it to the string? Like some canes have strings on them.
Yeah, I know. It's been a pet peeve of mine for a long time since I became a cane user in '97. Is misplacing my cane. So typically what I do is every time I walk into a room or into a building, I put it behind the door. So like when I was out of town in Montana, we stayed in a couple of different hotels, so I would put it behind the door in the hotel room. And when I come into my house, I put it behind that door. But sometimes when I'm like in unfamiliar places, like I'll put it in a corner and then have to go looking for it again. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well,
In most cases, having something like that on my cane would help a lot.
Well, they do have smart canes out there now.
They have a what cane? I'm sorry.
Smart canes, where you're walking down, if you're like walking and it comes to an object, it'll beep, it'll vibrate, like as an object right there. It's a smart cane.
Oh, a smart cane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you
Are you talking about, is it called the walk?
Are
you talking about that one that guy over in one of those Asian countries invented like a few months ago?
Well,
like
this one I seen a year ago. Israel made it. Israel makes a lot of stuff for us that we don't know about. But that's, you know. But the thing about it, it costs a lot of money to get. I think it's like over $100.
Or are you talking about the WeWalk cane? That's what it was called, I think.
It could be. I'm not for sure. Don't quote me on that now. But I know if you're walking down the street with your cane, it'll be.
What did you say, Abby?
A friend of mine had one of those WeWalk canes.
Why do you say had? Did they not like it?
I think it got broke.
Uh-huh.
I think he hit something with it and it got broke.
Yeah.
But he said he really liked it.
Okay. Well, thank you for that information, Abby. I haven't known anybody that's had one, and I tried to look into when they first came out, but when I contacted the guy, he didn't have any information about how it used. He didn't have any videos that I could direct my viewers to see how it worked or anything. And I wasn't comfortable promoting it at that rate,
Right.
But see, that's the problem with all the new technology that's coming out that's supposed to be for people that are vision challenged. It's too blasted expensive, and not everybody can afford all that.
And I think a lot of times they add so many bells and whistles that it makes the device so much more difficult to use than it really needs to be. I love my plain old straight white cane. You know what I mean? It doesn't have, I don't have to plug it in and charge it and all of that. It works great. But some of these newfangled devices, you have to do so much, to get it to work,
Yes, ma'am.
Well, look at the Orcam glasses. Those really help visually impaired students. People. Heck, my school has a pair, but I called Orcam. They started $3,500-$4,500.
Yep.
Good.
No way.
I'm like, do you think every blind person has a family member that's willing to give up $4,500 to them? No. I wish I had somebody to give me that kind of money, but but hey, that's just, that's why I'm saying this is why I go to school for stuff like this, so I can learn how to build stuff like this for blind individuals to make it cheaper. But you have to understand too, Becca, they need to make a profit so they can keep making stuff like that too. Because that technology is very expensive too. Mm-hmm. It is very expensive to construct.
Right.
That's what used to get on my nerves was the price tag. It's just like they got the talking Acrobat. Have y'all seen those?
Never heard of it.
Oh. The Acrobat is kind of like an overhead projector with an XY table that can move back and forth and sideways.
Oh, like a CCTV?
Yeah,
it is like that, exactly. But the difference between that and the CCTV is this one can talk to you. As you're putting say you got a cookbook, right? And you're trying to hear the recipe. So what you do is you put the book on the table and you aim the camera right over the first word of the page and then hit start. It'll start reading the thing to you word by word and line by line. But the price tag on that thing is $3,500. Who's got $3,500 for that?
Yep.
And here's the thing that I noticed about these devices: they're all really impressive, and they're really expensive like that too. So even though the Orcam is really impressive, I personally would not invest in that because these days I look for certain qualities in my accessible devices that I'm willing to invest in, and one of them is portability. You know what I mean? And another one is convenience, or if it's easy to use, easy to plug in, easy to set up, easy to to operate independently. Those are the things I look for in my devices. And I honestly haven't looked at the Orcam much, but my understanding is it's not very portable. So
no, but see, that's the thing about it. That's why I wish states, some state agencies, they will buy it for you, like here in Texas, they'll get it for you. But the thing about it, you have to go through so much red tape. Even me being in college, they just won't give it to me, and that's the thing. I've been fighting that too. Thank goodness I have another counsel that can help me get it. But, and me and Joe had discussed this. You have a lot of people here in the state that graduate from college and they don't even go find employment. So why did you waste the state's money and taxpayer money and sending you to school if you don't even want to do nothing with it? So why did you do it? I just want to see if I can do it. Well, thanks a lot, Jerk. Now it's harder for me to go to school. you know, and now.
And even harder to believe that an employer thinks that you have the smarts to excel at what you're doing and know what you're doing on top of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's
what
why,
I've been running up against.
Well, see, things like that, you know, I've literally known a lady, I'm not going to say her name. She literally graduated, you know, from criminal justice. I'm like, okay, so you're going to help, like youth out, you know, teens out? No. You're going to help out like hardened criminals out? No. What you going to do with it? Nothing. I just wanted to do it. I'm like, man, it's crap like that that really makes me mad. Because again, now I have to go through all this red tape, you know, and I'm doing my best, and I'm trying to, you know, going through all the stuff with my school to prove that I'm trying to do it. And it's people like that just cruise on through. You know, heck, I couldn't even get talking, typing teacher until I went to the school for the blind here in Texas. They wouldn't even give it to me until I went to the school.
You know what I think I've learned, you guys? I think a lot of the computers that we buy from Walmart and stuff, I think a lot of them actually come with some level of accessibility already in them.
Yeah, every Microsoft computer has narrator on it.
Right. And then, you know, I also think that Talking Typer, I think, is or something similar to it. I think there's a program you can get for free online where you can learn how to type. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
but heck, even Becca, what I did, you know, again, Joetta can attest to this. When we was at school together, I had been qualified for my equipment, because the thing, the way to qualify here was you had to type over 35 words a minute. And I've been did that, and I still didn't get myself to almost after I graduated. And I still got stuff here what I need to learn how to do. I still have what's that with open book, that little I still don't know how to use it. You know, they just gave it to me. Here you go and get out of here. Only thing I know how to use was my laptop. You know, but like I said, it's just a lot of things that can be reformed about the situation. Because again, I hated that they teamed up with the state agency. I liked it better when that was independent. You know, if you needed something, they just give it to you, no questions asked. But now, you know, you got to go through this, go through that for simple crap now. And I can't stand that.
Well, I think there's a lot of programs now that you can get, like on our iPhones.
Mm-hmm.
We have, I mean, I was sitting in the dark earlier today, and the voice stream scanner app, as long as I had that flashlight on, you know, in the app to where it would, you know, flash and see the page, I was sitting here scanning my mail in the dark. And it
What's
was
that called again?
Voice stream scanner.
Is it free?
Abby, is that a magnifier, or does it verbally read it to you?
You can push the play button and it'll verbally read what you scan.
Oh my God, I have that on my iPad. I just haven't had a chance to use it yet. Thanks for telling me. I fucking hate my mail.
Well, if you need help, I mean, you've got my number, so if you need help with it, feel free to reach out, because it's awesome. It'll make a sound when it's level, and so that you can, you know, scan. And like I said, I was sitting in the dark, and I was like, I wonder if this will work if I'm sitting here in the dark. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, it scanned every piece of mail I put in front of, under it.
And it read it word for word.
Pardon?
And it read it word for word.
Well, there were a few errors. I'm not going to say it was perfect, but it was enough for me to know exactly if it was my mail or if it was somebody else's.
Oh, okay, so is it free on the App Store?
No, it is not free.
How much is it?
Oh, you'd have to ask me that, would you? I bought the package because there were.
I think it's like $9.99 or $19.99, and it's like 3 or 4 apps that are really like.
Well, that's cheaper. That's cheaper than it's a lot cheaper than an NFB one. That's $100.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot cheaper. I would have paid that than that.
And And you can get 3 apps. You can get the app, the Voice Stream Reader, the Voice Stream Scanner, and the Voice Stream Writer. And I think it even comes with Voice Stream Voices.
And what does the writer do, Abby? Do you know?
Pardon?
What does the Voice Stream Writer do? Do you know?
I think that has something to do with writing, actually writing notes, like notes and things of that nature. I've never really played with it, but I found I got it cheaper by buying the bundle than if I would have bought it separate.
Yeah, I bought that same bundle a month and a half ago, I think it was. I just haven't had a chance to look at it, but I know I need to because, yeah, it sounds great.
Well, they are awesome apps. I mean, I totally would recommend it to anybody that needs to scan on the go.
Cool.
Now, is it only an iPhone app, or is there also like an Android?
I don't have an Android, so I don't know.
Yeah, I have an iPhone, but I know a lot of our viewers
for a tablet, but I don't use it for scanning. I only use it for reading like Audible books and
I will be getting as soon as we hang up, because that literally comes in handy. Because I use a lot of times be my eyes, like I did the other day, and I didn't mean to work that lady up, but she said I didn't mean to do, but I really needed her help. I felt bad for her. I'm like, I'm so sorry, but a thing about that too. A lot of blind folk don't know anything about all this great technology that's out there at their fingertips. They don't know. They do not know. And I'm like, wow,
Yeah. And
that's why I started my channel, Leon, is to educate the sighted world about everything that's going on with us, as well as our blind peers. Because I know there's a time when I didn't know any of this stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that was just a few years ago when I didn't know anything about what was available. So now that I do and I have this platform, I want to use it to help educate others.
Mm-hmm.
And I really appreciate you guys helping me with it.
well, if there's anything I can ever help you with or explain, like I said, I've never had vision. And so, I don't know what it's like.
Abby, we would like to get a VIP from you and a longer form interview video with you. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Okay.
We can work that out, and I'd be more than happy. I do have a doctor's appointment coming up, so I do want to say thank you for letting me be a part of your program, but I am going to have to leave.
Yep. Okay, well, we'll end the show then. Unless Leon or Joetta, do you guys have anything else you'd like to add?
Abby, I would like for me to please let me know how things are going on in Indiana. Because y'all right there by Chicago, and I'm so sorry about that.
I have a friend that lives in Chicago, and I'll be keeping in contact with her constantly.
Yes, it's very, very, very scary.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, please find a way to protect yourselves, please. It's getting real crazy out there.
Well, we'll say goodbye to Abby, and then I'll actually wait and see if anybody else has anything else to add before I end the show.
Okay.
Thank you,
Abby,
Becca, for having me on the program.
I'll talk to you in the next few days and see if you'd like to participate again in the future, okay?
Sure, definitely. I'd love to.
Thank you for joining us today, Abby.
Well, thank you, and nice meeting you, Leon and Joetta. And
Same
as
here.
always, Becca,
Same here.
it's always good to talk to you, Becca.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you too, Abby. Be safe out there, my friend.
Thank you. Keep in touch. And God bless.
Bye.
For sure. God bless you too. Bye-bye. Okay, so Leon or Joetta, is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
I'm thinking about it. Well, really, we kind of out for right now until next week's calamity. What's going on?
Joetta, was there anything else you wanted to add?
I'm good.
But I forgot, what's the name of that app again? Voice Stream Scanner?
It's the Voice Stream Pack. There's Voice Stream Reader and Voice Stream Scanner. If you go on the App Store and just search Voice Stream Pack or Voice Stream anything, it'll probably pull it right up. And like she was saying, it's a really amazing bundle of apps. I purchased it myself a couple months ago. I just haven't had a chance to use it.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna look it up as soon as I get up this with y'all. I'm done with what I have to say.
Okay, great. Thank you for joining us today on Becca's World. We hope you enjoyed today's episode of The Blind View. Please like, share, and hit the subscribe button. Peace out.
Thank you for watching Becca's World. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel.